Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We are back again with yet another episode of A Day in the Life of an Entrepreneur. And today we have a very special person with us, Muslim Koser. He's been an entrepreneur, CISO, and a security leader for many, many years. He's been an inspiration for all of us. And today we have him on the show, and we're going to be talking about all the things entrepreneur with him. Sir, before we start off, we want to know more about you, how you started your career in cybersecurity and your experience around cybersecurity.
I think first of all, thanks a lot, Munna, for having me here. It is my pleasure to talk to you and the audience here. I think cybersecurity is a journey. It's a long journey which I have been having. I don't remember how many years now. It should be close to what 23, 24 years or something like that.
Sir, how did you started your venture?
So in terms of starting Volon, I think overall in last 24, 23, 24 years, I have been carrying out multiple roles. When it started with in terms of normal network engineer, and then graduate from there to information security, and then to uh, professional services, vulnerability assessment, and all those kind of areas. And then somewhere in 2000, and I was actually also involved in setting up few national level certs as well. Including I was involved in 2004 somewhere in Indian cert as well. I was involved in setting up of some couple of certs in other countries as well. And then over a period of time, I felt I think I have done quite a bit of these kind of things. Wanted to do something else, and that is time when opportunity with Eyesight Partners came somewhere in 2009. There, I actually set up the Indian research team for the company. Had quite a few of very talented people working with us during those many years. In 2014, somewhere around that, the company was taken over by FireEye. So then we started working for FireEye. So with Eyesight and FireEye, I have been very effectively working in the threat intelligence domain, and that is something which really excited me. That yeah, I think this is something which we do not have here in India very much. In 2009, I'm talking about the things in 2009. Although now people know about it, people talk about it, people use it, but 12 years back, when we used to talk about this thing, the people used to say, hey, this is the job of law enforcement agencies. What are you doing here? So those kind of questions we used to hear from big organizations as well. But so I think it's a journey which I have cherished myself to be associated with very start, and being continuing that. And that's what I thought, that being part of these couple of organizations, I thought, uh, why not start something of our own in India, and build on and provide something which the customers are not getting effectively. That's how I started to conceptualize the idea of, okay, let's have a very customer focused, customer centric intelligence instead of providing generic. Let's provide them very focused kind of an input, and then see how we can help them to fight cyber threats. So that's how actually we started.
Very interesting journey, sir. Because especially these things, earlier people were not concentrating around them, and they were not even thinking that cybersecurity could be as important as it is today. Because we have come a very long way, wherein now we've seen that our leaders are speaking about that we need to have cybersecurity teams, we need to learn what are the things, and now while we are going through digitization, it is even the more important.
Right, absolutely. I
So,
think I
sir,
think
how?
also one more thing
Mhm.
is that I have been part of security community in India, and met with lot many great people all around in this specific community, and then that's actually also very inspiring, that people like you, people like all other in this community, work very hard to ensure this message is being passed across to majority of people.
Thank you so much, sir. We get inspired by you and the leaders like you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So, sir, how does your typical day look like, and what are the activities generally you plan? Especially for an entrepreneur, there are so many things to take care of. There are so many hats that you have to wear. So, how do you start your day, and what are the things, or how are the things that you plan when you start?
See, one thumb rule for any startup is that things does not go as per the plan. So so no matter how much planning you do, things will go here and there, and you have to cope up with that. That is kind of a fun being an entrepreneur, where you will always be on your toes to do something which you did not plan for, and suddenly those things comes up, and then you have to tackle. So you have to be a warrior all the time, irrespective of whether you know how to fight or not. But journey teaches you all. So as the end, you will definitely see that, okay, yes, I was able to achieve those kind of things as well. So in terms of what do we do as part of a typical day, is that number one is, for any company which is a startup, they will have to see how they can bring value to the table, because most of the startups are competing against big organizations. We see very few cases where startup is competing against startup. Uh, Although there are cases, but there are very few cases. At the end of the day, why do you start your own company? You start your own company to see that there is a potential to do something else, which established organization is not able to do. So now, once you do it, then you are fighting with those organization in the market itself. So you need to have kind of a very uh, uh, kind of brainstorm your ideas and see how you can bring that value to a table where you will be able to compete effectively, and actually go ahead and kill the competition, is what you will have to think about it. uh, uh, it is the customer queries and feedbacks is very important, so we have to spend good amount of time to see what our customers are saying, what kind of questions they are asking. We do not typically, in a startup, we do not have team like customer support, and these kind of teams are not, we do not have liberty of having these kind of teams and organizations. So you have to do these things yourself, and while you are doing these things yourself, you also understand what are the pains which these your customers are facing, and then you again bring back the loop in terms of, okay, how do I make it better, is those kind of things which you have to do. You also have to see where your product is, what is the roadmap, are we moving in the right direction or not, are we moving away from the our roadmap. How do we plan resource, because resourcing is very important. In a typical startup environment, you're always short of resources, because you don't have enough cash available to you to invest in building team as you would have. So you will have to do a lot of things based upon whatever you have, and then how to optimize these things. So I think most of the day goes in talking and juggling these things, and see how we can overall make things work.
That's a very good point, sir. Especially when you talked about juggling and making sure that how to make the best use of the resources that you currently have.
Right.
Now, when you have those resources and you're trying to manage it, there are a few things that come into my mind. How much of the activities that an entrepreneur does is actually hands-on, like where they're um, working on the product, and at the same time, how much entrepreneurship is people management, like whether you're hands-on or a people management, or how do you balance it all?
Everything. So I think the for any entrepreneur, it depends upon, if you yourself are having bit of technical knowledge, and you're technical, you have to be hands on. If you yourself cannot be hands on, uh, it will be very difficult to build that product which you have a vision for. So in a larger organization, you have liberty to manage teams, and then you can become a people manager, and then have ensure the teams are there, and then they can manage things on their own. But over here, if it requires to be micromanage, then you need to do it, and you have to get those things done. If it requires for you to sit down and write some piece of code, or you want to do a troubleshoot customer issues and problems, you have to sit down and do it. You can't expect everyone to be done by team, because teams are very small. You do not have that much of resources available to you where you can delegate and get these things done. So definitely, in this kind of journey, unless until you are totally hands on, things are not going to work.
Very interesting, sir. Now, when you are teaching any of your mentee, three things, what will they be when we talk about entrepreneurship? Because it's a journey. Whenever there is a new organization that's been set up, there are so many efforts that go behind that, alongside a lot of ideas. So, what are three things that you would like to teach your mentees, or you would like to impart to them based on your experience?
So I think the three things which I would say is that number one is a belief that there is nothing which you cannot do. Once you bring conditions in your journey that, oh, I can I do this or not, I cannot do this is not something which not my cup of tea. Once you bring these conditions, then these conditions will create roadblocks for you. So first of all, have a belief in terms of, because you have gone on to this journey, and you will be able to succeed. You will be able to finish this the way you would like to. So first of all, belief is very important. Number two, this journey is difficult. This journey can be tense. This journey can be tiring. This journey can be stressful. Only important thing is that you have to just hang it and face it. You just hang on, spend some time, give it some time to that. Things does not happen very quickly. These things takes time. As long as you are persistent, the things will happen. And what will happen towards the end is the better of you will always win. So if you keep hanging, you will make yourself better. As you make yourself better in this thing, you are going to win, is something which is very important for anybody who would like to get into that. Don't get disheartened. Things will go east, west, north, south, everywhere when you start, because you do not have experience, and things will definitely go here and there. But it's important for you to just be there, fight those things out, and make things work the way it should be. Number three is always respect your customers, because a lot of time what happens is that startup founders have some sort of great idea, and they would like to build something, and they, instead of listening to customers, they listen to themselves, and they keep building it till the time they see that this is not being used effectively by the customer. So there is a difference of opinion between yourself and the customer's opinion. So always respect your customers. Whatever feedback they give you, that is going to help and make your product better. So I'm sure you cannot accommodate everything, but whatever you can accommodate as part of the feedback which you get, because those people are those are the customers who are living in that world, and doing these things day in day out. So if they are telling you their problems, if you're able to solve their problems, that is going to make your product better. So just ensure that you listen to your customer. So I think these are the three things which I would definitely ask anybody to follow it up.
Very, very important advice, sir. And any message that you would like to give it to the new founders, or the people who are coming up with new ideas, and especially now we are going through a very tough phase, and we've seen that new cases, and um, probably we might hit the block again. So, what are the things that the new startup owners or founders should do in this time, in this tough time?
So I think one thing is that the passion is definitely one thing. which will drive you, but you also have to have a very effective thinking thought process towards that. Just don't take any decisions which out of your passion.
Mhm.
Ensure that you are giving a good thought of it. Ensure that you have a plan on terms of it, how these things are going to work. Ensure that you have worked out on a competitive landscape in terms of, okay, which market you are going to operate on, what are the players over there, what kind of issues which these players are facing, what are the new things which you are going to bring on the table, how are you going to succeed, what are your plans for success. So unless until you have answers to these questions, I would suggest to hold on and then rethink, strategize, and then go on to this journey. Don't go, oh, I want to do this, let's do it. Sometimes it is just out of passion you end up doing things, but definitely I would say that ensure that you have a very effective plan and then execute that plan.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing the wonderful insights. And I look forward to connect with you at further forums and future events. And hopefully, we'll meet soon in person. Thank you,
Thanks a
sir.
lot. Pleasure is all mine. Thanks a lot.